You're listening to the Love Over Addiction podcast. Self-care. The word is getting a little overused lately, isn't it? So I looked up some synonyms, and here's what Google suggested. Personal care, thinking about yourself, self-aid, and my personal fave, self-service, which I realized just now when I said that, it sounds slightly inappropriate. Can you tell I'm living with too many teenagers, you guys? Speaking of teenagers, random side note, if I hear the joke, "That's what she said," uttered one more time, I will walk out the door and never return. For those of you so blessed to not know what I'm referring to, I will allow the comedy geniuses and creators of The Office explain. I'm going to link a YouTube video, you guys, that you need to watch because it's hysterical. It's from The Office. You can't go wrong. It will take 5 minutes of your day to watch it, but it will just bring you an immense amount of joy. So this week, we asked our community about their genius advice about self-care or self-service. Here's their ideas. I'm going to say a word in a couple seconds, and half of you listening are going to hear the words and go, oh yeah, I need to learn more about that. And then the other half of you might roll your eyes and secretly think, Michelle, seriously, how many times are you going to talk about this? But I have good news for both the eye rollers and the curious enthusiasts. But before I get to the good news, allow me to share with you the word I am referring to. Ready for it? Boundaries. If you fall into the curious, enthusiastic group, your good news is that we've created a free, simple guide sheet that will teach you the easiest way to implement the basics of boundaries. And you can get your guide sheet by going to loveoveraddiction.com/126. And for those of you eye rollers, no offense taken, the good news for you is that this week's episode is not about boundaries. You're welcome.
My family goes to Hawaii each year, and they've been asking me to join for over 5 years now. I'm always the one pinching pennies to make up for my loved one's bad decisions. It's taken me 2 years, but I've stashed away enough money to go. I'm going to enjoy every single second without my qualifiers. Yay me!
Hi, we've been blessed with great weather lately. Every morning and evening, I plug in my headset, put on the Love Over Addiction podcast, Oprah, anything empowering, and I walk for about 3 miles. I also just started playing pickleball. I'm loving the fun exercise.
I need to allow myself time to reflect, do yoga, get massages, and do self-care, especially in times of stress. I need to tell myself I'm doing a good job instead of freaking out about the future.
I decided to hire a trainer and to help me get in shape. I've been going for over a year now. I'm getting strong again, like push-ups and pull-ups, and I've got muscles. It's the best money that I've spent. When I got physically strong, it gave me a sense of added emotional strength. The young girls call me a badass with a good ass because I'm a beast in the gym.
I am showing myself love by digging a little deeper into my spiritual life. I have tried so hard to fit and steer that I think it is really time to give myself some grace and ask for help.
I'm a mom, work, and go to school. I just don't have much free time.
I decided to treat myself and my home to a one-time house cleaner to clean for me. I used to think I had to do everything by myself. I show myself love by recognizing some things can be let go or can be handled by others.
I love yoga, reading, sitting outside, or watching a favorite show.
I feel like there's always something to be done and I'm always doing busy work. My mom was the same way and still comes over and expects me to do stuff. I have started setting boundaries about that too. I'm setting aside time every day to relax and work on my Love Over Addiction program and devotions. I'm letting people know I'm unavailable. I used to sit and read for hours before I had kids, so now I need to just make the time to do what I love.
I relax by taking my mini convertible, her name is Scout, by the way, for a spin with the top down. I recently got Scout, but was hesitant about the convertible because there is a blind spot on the passenger side, so switching lanes can be scary. But staying in my own lane is my new thing thanks to Love Over Addiction. I applied that philosophy and got the convertible, and I just stay in my lane and don't switch around. It keeps me in line on many levels with staying in my own lane. I also like running.
Smelling beautiful flowers. I buy myself bunches from time to time to calm and lift my spirits.
I just took a girls' trip with one of my good friends. My husband was supposed to come, but because of his outpatient rehab, he was unable to join me. He got upset because he wanted to take time off and come with me. I told him his recovery needed to come first, and I had already made other plans. I'm so glad I did. I felt bad, of course, because that's how I am. I also knew that as strained as things had been lately between us, we would argue, fight, and just not have the best of times. So I decided it was time to do something for me. We had an amazing week in Costa Rica. No fighting, just laughing, relaxing, and girl talk. Lots of pep talks to assure me that I needed to love myself more, and she reminded me that I deserved better than I was getting, but never pushed her thoughts on me. Just said, you're not ready to make any changes yet, but when you are, you'll know, and you'll be confident in your choices. She reminded me that my codependency isn't fully allowing my husband to hit his rock bottom, which I knew, and if I wanted a different result, I needed to change my ways too. I'm so glad we did this, and pray for strength as I continue working on me. It's so hard to focus on myself, but I know I deserve it.
We had just purchased a home computer and set it up on a small wooden desk in the kitchen. That evening, while my husband was passed out on our green couch from a night of drinking vodka, I found my very first chat room on the internet. It was a group of women who felt like life was too hard while living with somebody addicted to drugs and alcohol. I thought I had found my people. But after a few hours of reading their posts, I noticed I was feeling even more depressed than before. Part of me was relieved to find other women who understood my fears that my husband might never get better. But what were the answers? Surely it just can't be to keep talking about what he's doing or not doing about his recovery. It can't just be stories about how hard things are. There has to be hope. There has to be an instruction manual on things that I can do to help myself and my family. That night, I thought, if I ever figure this whole thing out, if I can create a better life, I will start one of these groups and fill it with women from around the world who will share solutions, who will inspire with their stories of healing and post pictures of their victories. And that's exactly what happened. And I would love for you to join us. You get a private invitation to our secret Facebook group where your sisters are waiting to become your greatest fans, to become your greatest friends. And I am doing a regular Facebook Live every couple weeks to answer your personal questions. All you have to do is ask me. So find out more at loveoveraddiction.com/LOA. Don't you just love these women? I know I am personally going to start implementing some of these tips ASAP, and I will continue to keep up with my personal self-care routine, which is locking the door to the bathroom every evening, running a bath, and reading my latest and greatest favorite book. If you're interested in what I use for bath products or what my favorite book is that I'm reading these days, I'll add those to the links on the podcast notes, or you can just head to loveoveraddiction.com and check them out. Every week, I try my best to ask you for a review in a non-creepy or boring way. We are trying so hard to get to our goal of 1,000 reviews for this podcast. And today, I wanted to highlight one that just warmed my heart. Our listener wrote, "A quick thanks to Michelle and her support crew for getting this topic and its very real subject matter out in conversation. Once I started really listening, I stopped the cycle and my life shifted away from protection and shame to vulnerability and health. I have a lifetime of work ahead and the tools to do it. Joy. Just reading that is joy. Thank you so much for leaving a review. They are like little gifts that keep us working hard for you every day. If you would like to leave a review, I would be incredibly grateful, and so would my team of really hardworking women. But you might not be sure how, because sometimes it can be really complicated. So we've put together some instructions for you with pictures, because I need visuals. I don't know about you. Go to loveoveraddiction.com/review. And thank you ahead of time. It means, seriously, the world to us.